It's game day, Seminole fans, and Nole insiders Lane Hurt and Tim Linnefelt have your 3 keys to victory. We'll get right to it. Key number 1, don't miss tackles. Miami is a team, they don't take shots downfield. Georgia Tech has thrown more downfield than Miami has this year. So the key is you've got to tackle those guys in space. Florida State has struggled a little bit with that this year. They have 45 missed tackles on the season. If they can clean that up, they could have a chance.
That's exactly right. And with these offenses like Miami's and to a degree North Carolina that we saw last week, they're predicated on short passes in space and counting on you to miss a tackle so that their guy can turn and get upfield and maybe create some confusion. It can all be nipped in the bud, so to speak, if you just make a tackle. Now, you're going to give up maybe 3, 4, 5 yards, but if you can do that consistently and count on the opposing offense to make a mistake while it's, working on getting 3, 4, 5 yards at a time, I think that's going to favor the defense in the long run. Where you get into trouble is where you miss that tackle and all of a sudden guys racing 40 yards downfield and you're having to scramble to catch up.
Key number 2, use your weapons. What that means, basically, DeAndre Francois, we know he's the quarterback, Dalvin Cook, the running back, but DeAndre, the runner, has been very effective for the Seminoles. And as you saw from our features this week, Dalvin Cook, the pass receiver, has been excellent for the Seminoles as well. And you can even say Kermit Whitfield out of the backfield has had some success.
Can we try Dalvin at quarterback and DeAndre? No, just kidding. Absolutely. Look, in a game like this, a rivalry game, a game that for Florida State you really need to win to generate some positive momentum going into the heart of October. Everything should be on the table, right? Whether that's running DeAndre Francois, whether that's sliding Dalvin Cook out wide or having him run some wheel routes out of the backfield, whatever the case may be. Like you said, we saw Kermit Whitfield get involved with some reverses. Anything in the bag of tricks, so to speak, and I don't necessarily mean trick plays by that, but just anything that you have that you think can be effective, I think needs to be on the table. There is no saving it for down the road. This is a game against a rival that, for Florida State, you need to win.
Tim giving away secrets of Dalvin Cook playing quarterback this week.
I really don't think that's going to happen.
Stat number 3, or key number 3 as it is, score first. 4 out of 5 times this year, the exception only being FCS foe Charleston Southern. The Noles have been behind on the scoreboard early in this one. In a big high-charge rivalry game on the road, if they can march down the field, get on the board first, take a little pressure off that defense, it could be very helpful.
Well, and also Miami, like we talked about, is going to be extremely confident. They're 4-0. They've had this game circled on the calendar for a long time. I'm sure Mark Richt, the head coach at Miami and the former Florida State assistant, has had this game circled on his calendar for a long time. And between that and the crowd that is going to be feeling an 8 o'clock game, all those factors, if Florida State is able to march down, take the ball, march down the field, get a 7-0 lead, just plant a little seed of doubt, show to Miami, hey, we're a tougher team than any team you've played so far this season, which I believe is true, by the way. So this is different than what you've done in the first month of the season. You're in for a different type of event, different type of game. If you just plant that seed, I think that's a really big deal. And you mentioned as far as getting some confidence for the defense, letting them go out there and play with the lead is something they haven't really been able to do in 4 games against FBS opponents. Let's just try it and see how that works. And I do think it will make a difference just to go out there and say, hey, we're up 7-0. We can play like we know we need to and not feel some of that pressure that maybe has been there in some of those other games.
There you have it, Seminole fans. Your keys to a Seminole victory on this evening at 8 p.m. And of course, don't miss out post-game. Tim will have his analysis, and we'll have your highlights, video reaction, and interviews with head coach Jimbo Fisher. Players, we'll talk to Dalvin about playing quarterback in this one and his thoughts on the new position change as Florida State looks to take on and defeat Miami. So for Tim Linnefelt, I'm Lane Hurt. Go Noles.